Superhero landing. She gonna do a superhero landing. Wait for it.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So 2 big Marvel movies coming from different studios around the same time of the year in 2018, Black Panther and Deadpool. Surprisingly, based on some of the comments from Black Panther himself, the characters are very similar. So this is going to be a breakdown. So the pitch is that Black Panther, like out of Chadwick Boseman's own mouth, says that he thinks he's something of an anti-hero, sort of, like I'm paraphrasing him. I feel like although he's a superhero, he's a super anti-hero, but not necessarily as crazy as, say, like Deadpool, but in the same vein. Not a hero. Don't call me a hero. That was like at the top of that movie after he saves the girl from the pizza dude. But I love the idea that Black Panther, like he's just gonna have no time for anyone's bullshit in his movie. Now, if you don't know when that movie's coming out, just a quick reminder, it's coming out February, Black History Month, very important, of 2018, just a couple months before Avengers Infinity War. So while like all of the Phase 3 movies are going to lead into Avengers Infinity War, Black Panther is like the last movie to lead into that. So whereas with Deadpool, you just see like a really terrible person who's trying to do, just an awful, awful human being who gets superpowers, but he still cares for the people around him. Like he still cares about Vanessa. He wants to protect them, but he doesn't have any interest in being like the traditional superhero. Like he doesn't want to be Captain America. I feel like Captain America is like the gold standard for what everybody would call a hero, like a traditional hero in the Marvel universe. So like Black Panther, for instance, on the other side of that coin, also not interested in being Captain America. He has all this pent-up aggression, like he sounds like a very angry person, and we only know a little bit about him coming into Civil War. Like we know that Wakanda's been very isolationist. They reference all the vibranium getting stolen, which is something that happened pre-Avengers Age of Ultron, because that's where Ultron got all of his vibranium from. He bought it off of Ulysses Klaue, who said he had acquired it at great personal cost when he showed like the tattoo that he had been branded by the Wakandans. So very clearly something really terrible happened in Black Panther's past. We don't know exactly how long he's been Black Panther, but think about how all the best Marvel heroes that we've seen so far create the circumstances that lead to like their big battles with villains. Either they create the villain or they create the circumstances that lead to the big conflict of their movie. So another big future king in the Marvel universe is Thor. We've seen a lot more of Thor than we have of Black Panther, but think about what's happening at the beginning of that movie. Thor's more of a douchebag at the beginning of that movie, like he's rolling in like, oh my god, look at me, I'm so awesome, I'm so handsome. He's like the Ron Burgundy of the Marvel universe. So Loki is just like, god damn it, everybody loves him, I'm just gonna wipe that smug smile off his face. So you have to imagine that had been happening for a long time, so that when he finds out that he's secretly a frost giant, it's just like the straw that broke the camel's back. So that's also kind of happening in Black Panther. But obviously Black Panther isn't a douchebag, like he doesn't come off that way in Civil War. He just comes off as someone who's very short, just does not have time for anyone. Like he is a funny character, but most of the humor flows out of like the situations that he's in. Like when Hawkeye introduces himself in the middle of the battle, like, hey man, I'm Hawkeye. And he's just like, I don't care. It's just hilarious watching him shut Hawkeye down. But Black Panther wasn't telling a joke, like he wasn't trying to be funny. He was just like, I don't give a shit. What we've learned is Michael B. Jordan's going to be playing one of the big villains of the film, Killmonger. So obviously, definitely not like the Loki character. And the relationship isn't quite the same thing. Like he's not an adopted son. He was never meant to be king. But he has this very strong idea of protecting his home. He is from Wakanda. But what happened is Ulysses Klaue came in with his gang and forced Killmonger's family to help him. So when the Wakandans kicked Ulysses Klaue out, they also kicked out Killmonger. They exiled him from his homeland. So Killmonger, seeking revenge, went to America, went to MIT, got this amazing education, became this powerful person in his own right, and was determined to come back and make Wakanda great again. So he's going to get rid of Black Panther and return them to their isolationist roots. So think about what was happening in Civil War before King T'Chaka was assassinated. He was basically opening up the borders of Wakanda, saying, we can't be isolationists anymore. We went through this terrible ordeal where a bunch of our vibranium was stolen and used as a weapon of mass destruction. So we have to become more diplomatic. Killmonger is the person who's grown up hating him and seeks revenge, wants to return Wakanda to its isolationist roots, kick the rest of the world out because the rest of the world is terrible. So already he kind of sounds like a couple real-world politicians, just really terrible people who, given the chance, would just sink Wakanda like the Titanic. It would just be terrible for that nation. But Black Panther, being the hero of the movie and calling himself an anti-hero, obviously wants to stop that from happening. But like Deadpool, bringing back around to Deadpool, even though they want to get rid of a really bad person, doesn't mean that they're interested in being this shining example of heroism for the rest of the world like Captain America is. But let me know in the comments, what do you think that Chadwick Boseman means when he says that Black Panther is an MCU super anti-hero? I just feel like, he's going to get rid of the villains in his movie, like he's going to kick him out of Wakanda, but he's not interested in being everybody's best friend. Like, he's like, I'm going to do the right thing, but not because I want everybody to see me doing the right thing, just because I really hate the alternative. So it's kind of the same thing with Deadpool, where he's like, look, I'm very self-interested, I'm a very selfish person, I'm not nice, I literally kill people for money, but most of the people that I kill are really bad people. So quick reminder, just because we've been talking about Black Panther, Deadpool 2 does not have an official release date yet, but they start shooting the movie early next year. Usually it takes about a year to turn around a movie in post-production, maybe a little bit faster if there's not too many special effects, but I feel like what their goal is going to be, if they can't get the movie out by the end of 2017, which I don't think that they will, is that they'll release it just like they did the first Deadpool movie at the beginning of the, like around Valentine's Day of 2018, which means it's going to come out right around Black Panther. So I feel like February 2018 is just going to be an awesome month for lovers and for Marvel anti-heroes. You guys can let me know in the comments though, when do you think that Deadpool 2 is actually going to drop? Do you think it'll take them about a year to finish the movie and they'll try to release it around Valentine's Day of 2018, the same way they did with the first movie? It makes sense that they would try to drop the movie relatively early in the year just because it wouldn't have quite as much competition from the other really big superhero movies. Like, they're not going to release it right next to Guardians of the Galaxy 2. But I feel like even though the characters are both anti-heroes, the movie is going to be so different that there's not going to be any competition. Like, you're like, oh my god, I gotta go see Black Panther. Oh my god, I gotta go see Deadpool 2. So it's not really going to be an issue. But while you guys think about that, I'll say congratulations to this week's Captain America giveaway winner, Rob Ruiz. You win a copy of the Civil War Blu-ray. Be sure to private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. And there is a new round that starts now. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video. So I'll be posting some DC next, so that should post later tonight. While you guys wait for that to post, you can click here for my Avengers Infinity War teaser. Thanos has officially left the chair, like Purple Man has left the chair. And you can click here to learn all about Deadpool 2. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.